Hi, friends. We are live. Give me 1 second. We'll go live on Instagram. Right. We are having technical difficulties today because we are trying a new setup here, which I'm very excited about. Okay, here we go. Live on Instagram. All right. Awesome sauce. Okay, this is very cool. So, my name is Dr. Simran, and I am a BRCA1 pre-vivor. I'm a triple board certified physician with expertise in lifestyle medicine, and my passion is really plant-based cooking. This is my lovely mom, Minnie. I'll let her introduce herself in a minute, but we come on here every Wednesday. It's been several months now to share our passion for, plant-based cooking and how easy it can be to put together simple meals that not just help you feel good, but help you reduce your risk of disease down the road so that you can live your best life. I'm also a mom, so a lot of the stuff that I share is budget friendly, is meal prep friendly. So I love all of this. This is my jam. So my mom is, I'll let her introduce herself, but it's June is Cancer Survivorship Month, and my mom is a 2-time breast cancer survivor. So today's episode is 100% in honor of Minnie and all the incredible cancer survivors around the world. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and then we'll let you know what we are making today. So I'm going to have Minnie introduce herself briefly.
Hi everyone, this is Minnie from Toronto, and I am two-time breast cancer survivor, which opened many doors for me, and learning so much about my body and my health. So yes, so today I am living in now and enjoying the life and my self-healing journey with food and nutrition. So over to Simran, and let's celebrate all the survivors out there.
So today, what we're going to do is I am all about the little things you can do in your everyday life to help you not just feel good, but help optimize your health span. So whether we're talking about reducing your risk of cancer or diabetes or metabolic syndrome or heart disease, it's all kind of under the same umbrella because it's the same foundational everyday habits that you take part in that will reduce your risk of all of these things. But today, because we're specifically talking about, cancer survivorship, what I thought we would do is make a smoothie. So smoothies are super powerful for a few reasons. If you are someone, so my background is actually in palliative care. So I worked in people with, I am like having a hard time catching my words today. So I worked in palliative care. So I worked with seriously ill people for over a decade. And when you're living with a serious illness or you're undergoing treatment like chemotherapy, it can be really hard to get down the nutrition you need to help your body not just, deal with the treatment, but also fight the disease and then also heal. And smoothies are honestly one of the things that I recommended to so many of my patients for a bunch of reasons. Okay. One, they're really easy to make. So literally you have a list of ingredients. You can put it all together in a blender, and I'm going to show you how here. And then more importantly, number two, when you're dealing with a serious illness, your body is, sending the energy to, treating the disease and healing. And so it doesn't necessarily have all the energy it needs to break down the food that you're eating. And smoothies make it easier for your body to digest and absorb the nutrients that you're taking in. Now, know that smoothies are different than juicing, right? And the biggest difference is fiber, right? So when you put something through a juicer, it takes all that pulp that comes out. That's the fiber. And fiber is honestly like a superhero when it comes to cancer risk reduction and cancer protection. You don't want to get rid of the fiber. You want to eat the fiber. And so that's why smoothies are great, because smoothies incorporate the whole fruit, the whole vegetable, the whole everything. So you get the fiber, the vitamins, the nutrients, the antioxidants, like all of it together, Okay, so I'm not a huge fan of juicing, but if you are going to juice, what I would say is juice more, you know, vegetables and not fruits. So you blend your fruits and drink them as a smoothie because you keep the fiber intact. Without the fiber, pure fruit juice can, you know, wreak havoc on your metabolic health because you'll be on that blood sugar roller coaster. So once in a while, going to the local juice shop, it's okay, have a juice, but I think for the most part, I prefer smoothies over juices. What are your thoughts, Min?
I agree with you 100% because fiber plays a huge role on our health, right? So, being a cancer survivor, you need at least 30 to 40 grams of fiber, or maybe more. So, having a smoothie, it really condensed all the fibers in, and it's a quick meal in itself.
Yeah. And when you're talking about cancer survivorship, right? And I just wrote an article for Everyday Health that just came out, and I'm going to be sharing it on my social media soon. But it's called "You Beat Breast Cancer." You can take out the breast and just say cancer. You beat cancer. Now what? And it's basically 6 steps to kind of moving forward after you rang the bell and chemo is over. Because a lot of times people think, oh, okay, you finished treatment and now you can go back to regular life, right? You can just go back to the way things were before. Is that true, man? Does life just go back to normal?
Most of the people, because I work in my own community with the cancer survivors, and once they are done with their chemo and radiation, they just don't want to talk about anything to do with cancer. They go back to the real. Actually, work start right after the chemo and radiation. Your environment in your body needs to be filled up with good nutrition. Give the good bacteria, good antioxidants to the body to create those good cells in your body instead of which went all haywire all over the body, right? It's the after work, not like, yeah, you got the chemo radiation surgery done. I always tell them, but everybody's journey is very different. So,
But what you're saying is people just kind of try to bounce back and just go back to their old life when in reality, so much has changed in your body, not just physically with having gone through cancer and gone through cancer treatment, but also mentally and emotionally. A lot of times when people get a cancer diagnosis, they are thrown, and you know this because it's happened to you twice, they're thrown into treatment. They're thrown into all these decisions they have to make and all these things that have to get done very quickly. And so a lot of times people don't even have a chance to process like what just happened. And so a lot of that, you know, mental and emotional work of healing happens after that initial roller coaster ride of chemo, radiation, surgery, right? I'm a pre-vivor. So I have a genetic mutation that increases my risk of cancer. I've never had cancer. And so for many years, I was living in anticipation of getting my surgeries, right? So I had like 6-7 years to really process psychologically, emotionally, and mentally what I was about to do with risk reducing surgeries. Whereas someone that's diagnosed with cancer, they're just thrown right into the cage of chemo, radiation, surgery, major decisions without the ability to fully understand their situation, acknowledge, and just process and grieve what is happening, right? So a lot of that process happens afterwards. But what ends up happening is, you know, when you're going through chemo, you're going through radiation, you're going through surgery, you're surrounded by a tribe of people. Like everyone is, you know, your family and the doctors and everyone is, you know, taking care of you so well. But then as soon as chemo or radiation or surgery is over, those people all kind of go back to their own life. And now you're kind of left alone to figure out this whole survivorship thing, right? So I wrote this great article on kind of lays out the 6 steps of the roadmap to survivorship, cancer survivorship, in honor of this month. And so I will share that. If you guys are interested, you can also send me a DM on Instagram. I will share it with you. the chances are, if you personally have not been affected by cancer, which I would be very happy if you haven't, the chances are you know someone that has been affected by cancer, because today cancer it's rampant. Like every other person is talking about someone they know who was just diagnosed with cancer, whether it's in their intimate circle or whether it's in kind of their broader friend circle. So this information is so important. And so one of the things in survivorship that makes the biggest impact is, like we were talking about, the everyday little habits. And one of the biggest is, what are you putting in your body, right? And so smoothies are a great alternative to all the variety of drinks there are out there. So if you think about the common things that people drink, right? So water, but people don't drink enough water, so I wouldn't say that that's as common. But what else are common things that people drink every day, Mom, that you would come up with?
Tea, coffee, sodas,
Yeah,
fruit juices,
fruit juices,
yeah,
alcohol,
alcohol.
cocktails, beer, wine. The challenge is, especially when you're talking from a cancer risk reduction perspective, and I just wrote another piece for Everyday Health on alcohol. And a lot of people know that tobacco and cigarette smoking is linked with cancer, but they don't realize that alcohol is also a class 1 carcinogen, meaning it's in the same class, according to the World Health Organization, as tobacco smoke. And it's linked to several diseases, but at least, 7 different types of cancer. Like alcohol directly causes 7 different types of cancer. And so I know a lot of people don't like to hear this, because alcohol is part of our social culture. It's part of the way that we, have fun with our friends and, let loose a little bit. But alcohol is one of those things where if you have had cancer or you're at risk of cancer, it's just something that we should all limit, but especially if you are someone at risk of cancer. So alcohol is one, and that includes all types of alcohol, including red wine. That it is a total myth that red wine is healthy for you. So if you want the benefits of red wine, which actually come from the antioxidant resveratrol, just eat the grapes. Okay, you're going to get much more benefits from that. Okay, so alcohol is one. Then there's sugar sweetened beverages. This includes all your sodas, all your fruit juices. And in here, I would even include coffee and teas today, because when you go to your local coffee shop, most people are not just getting a regular coffee with a little bit of milk. They're getting the gourmet coffee that has all of the syrup and the whipped cream and all of those added elements, which just make it basically like a soda. You have like 20, 30, 40 grams of sugar. Just as a fun experiment, go online. If you love Starbucks and you love like their latest gingerbread latte or caramel latte or whatever, go online and look at the ingredients label for whatever you get, tall, grande, whatever you get, and check how much sugar is actually in one of those drinks. It will blow.
I used to do the live and I used to show. Maybe I have the bottle. Let me get.
It will blow your mind how much sugar is in these coffee drinks. So you think you're just drinking coffee, but really it's like a sugary drink. And, for majority of people, more than half of their calories, like sugar calories, are coming from these sugar sweetened beverages in their diet. So, the more we can eliminate that, the better it's going to be. Even though sugar sweetened beverages don't directly cause cancer, what they do is they increase weight gain, right? And they increase that excess weight around the belly, especially, one sec, Mom, especially increased risk of visceral fat, which is the bad kind of fat, right? And all of that then is linked to pre-diabetes, diabetes, metabolic syndrome, heart disease. So that's completely different. But just obesity alone is linked to more than 10 different types of cancer, including breast cancer. So maintaining a healthy weight is extremely important when it comes to cancer risk reduction, whether you're talking about recurrence or whether you're talking about primary prevention. And one of the best ways you can do that is just pay more attention to the things that you're putting in your body, and especially the drinks, because some of these are loaded with sugar and we just don't make that connection very well. Hi, Taruna. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here. So there you go. I used to love these when I was in med school. Oh my God. I probably had one of these every day while I was studying for my boards, except I never read the ingredients label. So let's see what's on this. This is like that cold
So
coffee.
the sugar in one bottle is 46 grams.
Like
46 grams.
that is insane,
So
guys.
there is no fiber in it. There is 54 grams of carbohydrates and a little bit of protein.
That
And
that is almost 12 teaspoons of 12 teaspoons of sugar. So imagine, okay, here you go. Here's a teaspoon. Imagine 12 of these in your iced coffee.
oh my God.
Like that's how much sugar is in one of those drinks.
And 1 cup of this guava juice has 33 grams of sugar. 1 cup, not a full bottle, just 1 cup has 33 grams of sugar. So imagine what are we doing to our body. Body will go haywire for sure. And not realizing because we don't read labels, right? Then
Well,
we have
a lot of times when we think of like sugary drinks, we're thinking Coke and Sprite and things like that. We're not thinking, a lot of times people think fruit juice is healthy, but the only thing that makes fruit health, well, not the only thing, but one of the major things that makes fruit healthy is the fiber content. And so if you strain out just the juice and let go of all the fiber, you're not getting the true benefits, and in fact it's making it actually kind of harmful for your health.
so these Red Bull is very very popular as well, and this can has just in 1 cup. This is more than 1 cup. Has 27 grams of sugar in it.
Yeah.
And obviously, once you drink that, after 2 hours, the dip comes with any of these things. After within 2 hours, you check your sugar. You will feel lethargic. You feel tired because that spike came with the sugar, right? And you're looking for some more energy, and it's temporary energy through the sugar.
Right. And what we don't realize is that we go reach for these drinks to give us that energy, but what we don't realize is that we need the fiber, right? Like these blueberries here is very different than, or mango or strawberry, very different than like straight up blueberry juice or strawberry juice or mango juice, because that's going to be pure sugar. Here, each one of these blueberries is enveloped in fiber, right? And the fiber is really what prevents us from going on that blood sugar roller coaster, because after 2 hours, you're going to need another drink from Starbucks. You're going to need a Red Bull. You're going to need a Coke, because your blood sugar goes up and then it comes crashing down. And now your body's craving again. It needs energy again. Versus when you're eating foods or having drinks that are high with fiber, your blood sugar is going to slowly go up and then slowly come down, keeping you full and satisfied for longer without as much of an impact on your blood sugar and kind of your overall metabolic health, especially when you do this day in and day out. So that's just a little bit about that. I think coming back to this idea that like smoothies are a great way to pack in lots of anti-cancer nutrients in one go, right? The reality is we're all super busy people, and so this is why I love smoothies, because you can get it all in one go, and you can really tailor it to the way that you like, the flavor and all of that you like. So I have a freebie. Like if you are not someone that has made smoothies before and you want to learn how to make them, I have a freebie. So once I post this afterwards, just comment smoothie and I will send you a guide on how to create like the most amazing smoothie, right? But the base of any smoothie is really going to be your liquid. Now for your liquid, because we're talking specifically for cancer risk reduction, I'm actually going to use unsweetened soy milk, and that's really important. So you always want to look at your ingredients label, right? So this is this is from the company Silk, but there are other companies as well, like West Soy, which really only just have organic soybeans and there's no added sugar. That's really, really important. So soy, why am I choosing soy milk? For a couple of reasons. Oh, you could also use water, you could use almond milk, but soy milk in particular is because soy, one, fiber, yes, but then also is a rich source of a phytoestrogen known as isoflavones. And there is so many myths, and my mom and I have talked about this at length about the misconceptions and myths surrounding soy and cancer. Soy is actually one of the most powerful foods that you can eat for cancer risk reduction, particularly when you're talking about breast cancer. There are tons of studies in humans showing that it significantly reduces risk of breast cancer recurrence, but then also primary breast cancer. So soy is always the base. I have at least 1 cup of soy milk a day.
But it's a good source of protein as well, right? 1 cup has about 8 grams of protein, right?
Absolutely. So 1 cup of soy milk has about 8 grams of protein. So that's the other great thing, is that it's going to keep you full, right? So the combination when you're talking specifically for like weight loss, metabolic health, the combination that you want in each meal is fiber and protein, right? Because fiber and protein both keep you satiated. They activate your body's own GLP-1 hormone, which is the hormone that tells your brain, like, I'm full, I'm happy, I don't need to eat anymore. And so that's what that protein fiber combination does. And so, soy milk is amazing because you get both, or soy is amazing because you get both. You get the fiber and you get the protein. So we're going to do that first. And then I usually I like to use frozen berries. Now, you're going to have just as much benefit whether you're using frozen or fresh. You can't really get fresh berries all year round. So frozen berries are great for that reason. They're
And
usually
convenient. It's convenient as well. It's in the freezer, so you can pull it out.
they're more convenient. They're usually more economical too. Like you can buy a big bag from like Costco or a place like that. I usually like to go for mixed berries. Now, the beautiful thing about berries is they are super, super rich in antioxidants. Blueberries have an antioxidant in there known as anthocyanins, which are really powerful. So we're going to put these in. I'm going to so I usually put the liquid in before putting in the berries. Otherwise, the frozen berries are going to get stuck to the bottom. So we put them in after we put the liquid. Okay, so then I also like to add in a banana. I know there was a study recently that showed when you add bananas with berries, it kind of reduces the antioxidant effect of the berry. But here's the thing. I really like the kind of natural sweetness of the banana in my smoothie. And the reality is that 90% of people are not eating the recommended amounts of fruits and vegetables in a day. And so if you are like me and you just like the taste of berries and bananas together, I say just do it. Like it's really not going to make that big a difference. It's still amazing. You're still getting tons of benefits. So don't worry about the little nuances that people, especially.
Another thing is there's so many different. They are doing different studies out there. So do the best you could do with your own, you know.
And you have to look at it from a whole like big picture perspective, right? Like everything that's in here is going to give you a lot of benefit, regardless of the maybe a little bit less of antioxidant absorption that you're going to get because there's banana in here. Like you have to look at the big picture, right? And you have to look at what's not just convenient, but what's sustainable for you, right? So if you don't want to add the banana, that's fine. It's just there was like something, recently that came out, I think in the last year about this. And so it was kind of, all these things are going to trend on social media. So that's why I'm pointing it out, is if you see something like that, you just have to.
The thing is that one this for soya milk, When I talk to people about soy, the first thing comes, no, 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 soy is not good for you for cancer. I have read this study was done, this and that. People have not gone through when this happened, why this happened, because that guy, they did the thing, was eating too much soy. I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, that, but also when people say I did my research, it usually means they follow this one wellness influencer or they follow this one person who said something. And so now they feel like they've done their research, but that's not really what research is, right? So um, I think you just have to be really careful these days where you get your information,
Mm.
because we have information overload these days. Everybody has tons of.
Something to say.
The question is it valid? Is it credible? Is it like information that you can rely on? And that's the question you have to ask, right? Is this true? Is it really true? And then go and like verify. So make sure you're getting your information from credible resources. So, all right, next in my cancer kicking smoothie. So I hope you guys are liking the new setup. This is why it was kind of hard. I set up a second camera because I know a lot of people really enjoy these lives, but they kind of had mentioned that they couldn't see what we were cooking. So here you go. So this is giving you a hands and pens view while we're talking to you. So this is really cool. And if you guys have any questions or comments, like please drop them in the chat and let us know. So this is flaxseed. Now, flax seeds are an amazing source of something called lignans, and lignans are another type of phytoestrogen, just like isoflavones in soy. And again, have been shown in studies to reduce risk, specifically with breast cancer, but they're great for all sorts of cancer. So tons of fiber here as well. So these are really, really great. So you want to go for about 2 tablespoons a day. So I'll add 2 tablespoons in here. And flax seeds are also great. Just a side note, they're a great binder. So if you're making like cookies or if you're making like banana bread or something, you can make like a flax egg, and it works the same way as a egg to bind together whatever you're making. And so you would just combine water with some flax seeds, ground flaxseed. And then next, what I have is amla powder. So we don't get fresh amla where I live because this is the Indian gooseberry, and it actually comes from India. So you can get it frozen at the local Indian store, but it's very sour. So it's kind of hard to eat. So I just get this company. It's called Organic Tradition amla berry powder. And amla berry powder, out of all of the berries, amla is the richest source of antioxidants. So it's the highest amount of antioxidants of all the berries. So it is super powerful when you're talking about cancer risk reduction. And antioxidants basically protect our cells. They protect our DNA from damage. So really, really powerful.
But I saw amla at that store I went with your friend Patel Brothers. They had the fresh ones. So when
Oh,
this time I come, I'll buy fresh and then make you some pickle out of it.
yeah, that sounds really good. So, okay, then here is my go-to sweetener right here. These are dates. My son is basically made up of half dates. He loves dates so much.
He
He
probably in past life he was a Middle Eastern guy.
eats a lot of dates, a lot
Cashews
of
and not
tattoos.
dates.
But here's the nice thing about dates. So dates are like, if you have never had a date before, it literally is like a caramelly taste to it. And it's super sweet, super satisfying, a great little dessert. It's packed with fiber, but also there's a great source of antioxidants and flavonoids in particular. So these I love to I usually put 2 dates in all of my smoothies. So it's a great way, if you're someone that likes that sweetness, skip the maple syrup, skip the agave, skip the honey, and just put dates in. And there's tons of studies. We know that dates don't actually impact our blood sugar like you think they would, because they're so sweet, but it doesn't impact our blood sugar. So it's actually
But if you eat in excess, then it will.
I mean, so everything I'm saying here, of course, my father-in-law used to say anything of a good thing can be a bad thing, right? And so any of the times you hear people talk about soy or, lectins in beans or this, that, or the other, it's like if you consume too much of something, it is going to cause harm to you, right? Like too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. And if you're not eating it in the correct way, right? And the right way to prepare it, it can cause harm to you. So that's why going back to the do your research and, make sure you're doing things in the correct way with the correct guidance. I think today everyone and their mom is an expert. And so, everyone has a platform, everyone has opinions to share. And I am not someone that will ever put down someone's story. I think stories are incredibly powerful. I think we should all share our stories. However, I think today people go to the internet for medical advice, and that can be very dangerous, right? So you have to be empowered and you have to do your research, and you can be inspired by other people's stories. So it's kind of like a fine balance of all of the above. So hopefully no one is offended by me saying that, but I think it's just the internet is the wild, wild west. So you got to be careful. All right. So this is a berry smoothie that we're making here, but you can make this your own. And again, if you want the freebie handout that shows you how to make an awesome smoothie, comment smoothie after I post this. But one of my other favorite types of smoothies is actually like a peanut butter or like an almond butter based smoothie. So I usually do like a chocolate base with this. So like cacao powder, dates, peanut butter, soy milk, banana.
That's good for children, right? The kids love it.
Yeah, the kids love it. It is so good. So Camellia is saying, good morning. I happen to be off from work today and I got to catch one of your lives. I always love when you do recipes. Awesome sauce. That's like why we are here. And that is honestly how my journey started 10 years ago when I found out about my BRCA1 mutation. This is where I started, in my kitchen. What can I do to reduce my risk of cancer? Like when someone tells you you have an 86% lifetime risk of getting cancer, it shakes you to your core. And as a physician, like as a daughter of a 2-time breast cancer survivor, as a physician, especially who took care of a lot of dying cancer patients, like my why is just so powerful on the things that I do in my everyday life to reduce my risk of cancer to the best of my ability. And hey, doing all of this is not a guarantee that you're not going to get cancer, right? But it's like a seatbelt. It's giving you your best chance. And that's all any of us can really do, right? And so I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate you joining us. And if there's someone in your life that you think would benefit from this information, then share it. And the reason I love to bring my mom on here is because, guys, my mom is not a doctor. My mom is not a scientist. My mom is not she doesn't have the credentials that I have, but she is a 2-time breast cancer survivor. She's a divorce survivor. She has gone through more trainings than most people on healing modalities, from like gratitude to Reiki to Ayurveda to so many. Like she is a wealth of knowledge because of everything that she has been through, right? And I have my own personal story, but that's why we love coming on together. And obviously she's my inspiration. She's the reason I know how to cook and I learned how to cook. And my husband is also convinced that every time she comes over, my children gain weight. So, so it's a beautiful thing. Camellia said, prevention is always the best. I have been an occupational therapist going on 38 years in Houston, Texas. Well, thank you for your service. And absolutely, I think one of the first questions that I always got from my patients anytime I would, initially sit down with them from a palliative care perspective is, what else can we do? I will do anything I can to get better, to get my old life back. And what I'm here to tell you on the other side of that is don't wait for a diagnosis to start working on a healthy lifestyle. Because once you wait for the diagnosis, your body has been through a lot to get to that point. The heart attack at 60 started at 40. The cancer at 40 started at 20. The stroke at 70 started at 40. So get this point that the things that we're doing on a day-to-day basis have a compounding, stacking effect over time. And that goes for healthy habits, but also the unhealthy habits. Like a diagnosis doesn't just come out of thin air. And our bodies are so resilient. I don't know if you believe in God or you believe in your creator or universe or whoever you believe in, but like we have been made solid. Like your body will do everything it can to protect itself from constant damage over and over and over. The things that we're doing over and over and over again to damage our cells, yet our body's doing its best to try to protect ourselves, to fix every single thing. And at some point, it's not going to be able to fix it. At some point, one cell will mutate and then that cell will multiply and multiply and multiply. And eventually you have your cancer right there, or you have your heart attack or whatever. And every person presents differently. Right?
My friend, she's 60 plus, and her 32-year-old had a bypass surgery. What, quadruple, 32-year-old. Can you believe that? Like she had to take care of a 32-year-old, her son. It should be other way around because she's 60 plus, hitting 70 soon. So the day now, these are days, you just never know. 30-year-olds are having heart attack and stuff like that, or cancer.
Yeah, I mean, just in the past week, I mean, I got a message today. I got a message last week about, two women in their 30s just recently diagnosed with different stages of breast cancer. Can I talk to them about a mastectomy? Someone else I know, her daughter was just diagnosed with thyroid cancer at 37. And this is the reality that we're living in.
The thing is the relationship, it's all come back to relationships, Simran. The thing is that you have a relationship with your mother, your father, your brother, co-workers, kids. But do we have a relationship with our body which is going to stay with you forever? All relationship will die one day. Your parents and your brothers, your friends. But the relationship which the body will go till the last breath. And we don't take care of that. We need to build a relationship with our body.
And the reason is because we will do more for others than we do for ourselves. So especially as moms, right? And you did this for years, right? Especially as moms, and in today's day and age where the average mom is also working a full-time job, we just put everybody above ourselves except us. And yet this body is what we need to take care of all of the people and things that we love to do. But we don't give it what it needs until, there's a saying that I love. It's like, if you don't make time for your wellness, you're going to be forced to make time for your illness. Like a lot of people say, I don't have time. How is this going to happen? How is that going to happen? Well, guess what? When you get a diagnosis and now you have to go to chemo or radiation or surgery or whatever, you're not going to have a choice. Everything just ends up figuring itself out. And so the same is true in your everyday busy life. Like if you need to take 30 minutes to go for a walk, if you need to take 30 minutes to prepare your smoothie, if you need to take 30 minutes to, whatever it is that you're working on in this season of your life, whatever healthy habit you're working on cultivating for you, everything else will figure itself out. And if you don't have 30 minutes for yourself, you honestly don't have a life. And I'm trying to be very, very blunt and honest here, because it is hard to cultivate these healthy habits. But guess what's harder? A diagnosis. and chemo and radiation and all of these other things. So you actually don't know what hard truly is until you've been diagnosed with a disease or someone you love has been diagnosed with a disease. So the mindset shift here, the mindset reframe here is, preparing healthy meals or getting out and going for a walk or prioritizing fiber and protein or getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. Those things are not hard. They're a privilege, right? So shifting that I have to mentality to I get to. It is so powerful because once you shift, your body will also follow in that direction. The hardest thing when it comes to cultivating a healthy lifestyle and a new habit is convincing this guy up here. Because this guy up here is a survival species. Our brain is a survival organ because our ancestors were worried they were going to be eaten by the saber-toothed tiger. And so our brain was always in this fight or flight mode of like, I need to protect us. I need to protect us. And so it was always focusing on protection, right? But today we don't live in a world where if you're privileged enough, most of us are not living in a place we're worried where saber-toothed tigers are chasing us. But our brain has not evolved. Our brain is still a survival species. And so if at the end of the day, you say, oh, well, I had a really hard day at work, and so I'm just going to skip my workout. I deserve to eat this donut. Your brain is going to say, yes, you do. You deserve to eat this. You deserve it. That's what this guy's going to say. There is no day where this guy's going to say, oh, no, Simran, like, we are going to get outside. We're going to exercise. So unless you train it to be like that, unless you train it to say, no, like, this is my non-negotiable. This is my health is my value. This is the way we're going to do it. This guy's not going to listen. It's like a computer. You have to train the program you're playing on that computer. So Mel Robbins has a really awesome trick, and it's called the 5-second rule. And I absolutely love it. And it is basically where it's like, okay, I'm going to go make a smoothie now. Then you say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as soon as you reach 1, you get up and go. Because after that, if you don't get up and go, your brain will come up with an excuse or some sort of reason why you don't need to do it or why you shouldn't do it or why you deserve to stay on the couch and watch TV. So anyways, if you guys follow my lives, our lives, you know that I often end up ranting about life and disease. But here's the thing, guys, like, once you've learned from death, there is no greater teacher.
Yes.
Like the number of regrets I've heard from thousands of my patients, like it really just comes down to doing everything you can in your power to, stay healthy and live your best life, live life on your terms, right? Because we don't want a long lifespan, right? It's not about the number of years, right? It's about the amount of life that you're able to live in those years. So it's really about having a healthy health span or a long health span, right? So let me see. Monica is Dr. MVW. Hey, Dr. Simran, chiming in real quick before my appointment. Looks like you ladies are doing great. Amazing. Nice to have your mom still here. Great job. Connections in and out, but great tip. Prevention is key. Absolutely. It's all about prevention. And prevention doesn't mean guarantee, right? Prevention is really about risk reduction. So, all right, let's see what Minnie's making. And it's just another example of there's so many ways to do this. So she has.
So my theme is anything easy, 1, 2, 3. So we are doing mango almond lassi, and it's mangoes. We have mangoes here. I have almond yogurt. Uh, bought from the store. And then if you want to add a little bit of a sweetener, if your mangoes are sour or something, you can add the maple syrup to it and a little bit of water. So mango lassi in summer is tastes so good. It's so mango is again full of fiber, and then yogurt is good probiotics in summertime. It's nice, good for your digestion. So I do sometimes mango lassi in summertime. So it's a good source of protein, good source of fiber, and it's very tasty. So that's my like. I will make it afterwards. So back to Simran, she will show her smoothie. Oh,
All right, guys. So this is really kind of like my daily smoothie that I make. Sorry. So I had a mastectomy in 2020 and I can't open jars anymore. It's funny, but not really. It's something about, I mean, they didn't cut my muscles, but it's just, I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's not ideal.
I
So,
have the same issue, but now they have taken out my lymph nodes. So
okay. One thing I forgot to add is, okay, I'm also on my kind of bone building and muscle mass building journey. I'm doing a lot of training and weightlifting these days. So I do like to put protein in my shake, in my smoothies, because it's just easy. This is my go-to protein. It's called whole protein. The reason I like this, and I'm not going to go too deep into this, but the reason I like this is the way that they have formulated this, and it's a plant-based protein, is that it doesn't stimulate your IGF pathway as much. So we have a lot of nutrient sensing pathways in our body, IGF-1 being one of them, insulin, mTOR, like there's a lot of different nutrient sensing pathways. And many of them are growth promoting pathways. IGF-1 is one of those growth promoting pathways, and protein stimulates IGF-1 production, which stimulates growth. Now, it's a balance. Protein is very important. And at the same time, an excess of protein is not good either. So I usually like to follow that somewhere between 1 to 1.2 grams per kilogram of protein per day. And then I like to add this protein powder in my shakes because it's specifically designed not to activate IGF-1 as much. And the reason that this is important, again, IGF-1 is great for muscle building, but it can also promote cancer growth, cancer cell growth, right? So as a previvor or as a cancer survivor, that's something to be mindful of. And so that's where the balance is, right? Because protein's also very important for muscle health, for bone health, for metabolic health. But anything in excess, like I said earlier, too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. But anyways, this is what I have. So this was kind of the protein. You saw my shake there. It's nice purple color. What I forgot to add in here were greens. So that was the other thing that I would add, because greens are absolutely amazing. Great source of fiber, chlorophyll, antioxidants, super cancer risk reduction foods, superfoods. And then the other thing, you could add in here is, or you could drink it separately. I tried to drink this separately, is green tea. So green tea has an antioxidant in there known as ECGC. I'm not going to try to say the whole, or EGCG. I'm not going to try to say the whole word, but specifically, it's great for cancer risk reduction. So if you can, again, unsweetened green tea, just grab a tea bag and put it in water. You can drink it warm, or you can drink it cold, or you can put it in a smoothie. And then the other thing you could add in your smoothie from a cancer risk reduction perspective is turmeric. I don't like to put it in here because I don't like the taste it gives the smoothies, but some people will do it. Again, like biggest bang for your buck. If you want to just add it all in there, you can. But it's something, I actually take a turmeric supplement, but then I also cook with a lot of turmeric. I'll just add it in everything. turmeric's active component is known as curcumin, and it actually needs a little pinch of black pepper to become fully bioavailable. So make sure you pair those two together. And that's why I don't like putting it in my smoothies, because I don't really like black pepper.
But we are Indian, so we make everything with haldi, with turmeric.
Yeah. So anyway,
from our Ayurvedas.
Just a quick meal prep tip here. So this blender that I'm using, so I have two blenders that I love. This one is known as the Beast Blender, and I specifically bought it because we make so many smoothies in our house. But I love the fact that this container will then become where I drink my shake out of. So it comes with this special, it comes with another lid, and then, I bring it to the gym with me. It has a nice handle like that. Or if you're making your shake the night before and you just want to put in the fridge, it just comes with a cap that you can put it straight in this container. So it saves some time dishwashing, and then it comes with two different containers. So you can get this on Amazon or wherever, but this is a medium size, this is a large size, this is a small size. I like to use this one for like dressings or sauces or whatever. And I love my Vitamix. I mean, my Vitamix I use all the time, but I just love the different, sizes of this, which makes it much easier to blend up as opposed to making a smoothie for one person in a Vitamix blender. It's tough because you have to keep scraping the sides and it doesn't blend as well. So anyways, this is the Beast Blender, my favorite. So Loa food, no, the body is not glass. I am very mindful of the types of containers I buy. However, I honestly haven't found any blenders that have a glass body container. The Vitamix does have a stainless steel container, which I have. But yeah, unfortunately not. The body is not glass. I wish it was though. So yeah, anyways, I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day. Thanks for joining. Thanks for all the engagement. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next week. Comment smoothie if you want the smoothie guide when I post this right after we're done. All right. Bye, guys.
Thank you very much, everyone. Bye-bye.